Hey everybody, welcome to my garden. I just poured myself a cup of afternoon coffee, so I thought it would be a good time to just do a little garden tour and walk around and show you guys what is in bloom right now. It's the middle of July and the garden already looks completely different than it did in my last video. So I thought this would be a good time to just kind of walk around, take in the sights and sounds and smells, and show you guys how the flower garden looks right now. So I'll start on my porch with some of my pots. I have a couple of different types of Agastachy or hyssop. This one I started from seed. I believe this is called Arizona Sunset. This is much smaller and much more delicate than some of the other Agastachys, but it's really interesting. I don't know if I would grow it again, but it is pretty. So that's just starting to come into bloom really within the past couple of weeks. And then this other variety I picked up, it was on sale at a garden center. This one is Heather Queen. And you can see this one it's much taller, the leaves are bigger. It's supposed to get these really pretty pink tubular flowers at the top. Agastachy is a really nice native plant. There are a ton of different varieties and cultivars, so there's kind of one for every situation. You've got teeny tiny ones, and then I have some on the other side of my yard that are the true native, the giant hyssop, and that thing is like 5 feet tall and humongous. So they're a fun plant, and they're obviously pollinators love them. You can tell by the shape of the flower that this is something that a butterfly, a hummingbird, or a bee with a longer tongue would like. I also made an impulse buy and purchased this Meyer lemon tree. I was at Lowe's. They were on sale. I've been wanting a lemon tree for a long time, and I thought, let's just give it a try. I don't know if I will be able to keep it alive, because I am in a zone 5, so I will have to bring it in over the winter and bring it back out when it warms up again. And I'm not so good with keeping plants alive indoors. So we'll see how it goes. It's an experiment, but it'll be fun to see what happens there. My ornamental millet is finally, this took a while, but it's finally getting taller. I have some of that on either side of my porch. Let's see, those are some asters that are not in bloom yet. I have cherry tomatoes that are getting close. This is a bush container variety. This is my first time trying this variety, so I'm excited to see how these taste. They're right there, they're so close. It's been rainy and cloudy for the last week or so, So I just feel like things have kind of stalled. So I'm hoping now we're supposed to get sun again, that things will just start ripening up and really get moving again. My pot of lantana. Did I keep the tag? No, I did not. Oh, yes, I did. I'm a little disappointed with this just because I thought this was going to be a butterfly magnet, but I haven't really seen any butterflies or really any bees on this at all, so not sure what's up with that. This is my first time growing it, so I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one. My black-eyed Susans are just starting to pop open. These are one of my all-time favorites. They look amazing every year. Super pretty. So these are gonna look amazing in like a week. They'll all be open and blooming and beautiful. I also have some lovely Japanese beetles that have been eating my flowers. So I've been going around with a bucket of soapy water and dropping them in there. Nobody likes Japanese beetles. I had some volunteer calendula pop up. I had planted some last year and it just self-seeded and popped up, so I always think that's fun when that happens. Sun's starting to come out. The phlox has started blooming too, so I have a ton of phlox. I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with phlox because it can get aggressive. It spreads very easily, both from the plant gets bigger, and it self-seeds. So I find phlox popping up everywhere. But it smells amazing. It's really pretty. I have white and pink phlox in my garden. The pollinators love it. And I believe phlox is also a native plant. So there's a lot to like about it, but I find myself having to beat it back quite a bit. But man, does it smell good. So you can see I have one there, I have a plant there, I have another big chunk there. So likes to try to take over. This is one of my favorite areas in the garden right now. This is raspberry wine bee balm, and it is so pretty. I love it. I love the color of the foliage. I love the color of the flower. I love that it is like 5 feet tall or 4.5 feet tall, covered in bees. I don't know if you could see them. I mean, bee balm is not just a clever name. The bees love this, and hummingbirds love this too. It does spread. It is related to mint, but it is not as aggressive as mint. and I want it to spread. So it's pretty easy to control. So I would love this to spread and have a huge, I mean, I already have a good sized patch over here, but it can keep going because it just looks so pretty. And I have a hummingbird on this almost every morning and every evening. Also smells amazing. And I love the color of the foliage is so different. It's kind of a, I don't know, sort of a like misty faded green color in a darker green. I really like it. I could stare at this all day. My pond garden is looking pretty good too. My water lilies are blooming. So I have multiple flower buds on this. There's one there. I had two others that were up a few days ago too. So this is my first time really having a good go at a container pond. It's pretty easy. The birds love hanging out in here. This is water lettuce. I literally started with 2 water lettuce and this has taken over, so I have to sort of come in and cut it back and pull some out so that the water lily has room. Some horsetail rush, I believe is what that grass is called. And then I have some cardinal flower that won't bloom until the fall. I also have some flowering tobacco. Also my first time growing this. The leaves are humongous. And it looks like it's finally putting on some flower buds. So that'll be fun. I'm really interested to see what kind of pollinators it attracts. It's supposed to attract hummingbirds and moths and butterflies, so I'm excited to see who likes the flowering tobacco. Speedwell is looking really good right now. Super pretty. Oh, that is a hummingbird moth. Oh, I can't believe I just caught that. Those guys are awesome. So another awesome pollinator plant is speedwell. You can see the birds, or the bumblebees are all over it, and apparently the hummingbird moths like it too. I also see, if you want to attract hummingbird moths, they also seem to really like phlox. So I see them on the phlox quite a bit. You know it's summer when the lilies are blooming, so my daylilies have been looking really good. These were here when I moved in. So I did not plant these, but I'm very happy to have them. Let's see, what else can I show? The hostas are looking really, really good. They're all in bloom right now, which I love hosta blooms. I know I say this all the time, but most people grow hosta for the foliage, and will often cut the blooms off. But I love the blooms. I love the way they kind of dance above the plant, and the bees love the hosta flower also. So I usually find bees crawling around inside the flowers, but I think they're so interesting because each hosta has a little bit of a different flower. Like you can see on the bigger hostas, they have a more dense bunch of flowers, and then you kind of have these traditional ones that are kind of wispy and have fewer blooms on them. So I just find them really interesting. And they look really nice, just kind of swaying in the breeze. I find them pretty relaxing to watch. We had a little bit of a project we've been working on. This area is on the front of our house, and we just added this wood border in front of these evergreen shrubs. Before we put the border in, it was really just a weedy mess, and I really wanted to clean up the area because it's the front of the house. So I want the front of the house. My dog's enjoying the lawn and probably trying to get my attention. What are you doing? What are you doing? So since it's the front of the house, I really wanted to clean it up. I want it to look just a little bit neater and a little more purposeful. So I planted those two shrubs. I got them on sale, so they were on sale. I had to buy them. So I planted those last fall, and my plan is we need to get some more wood chips and finish filling this area in. And then my plan is just to pop a few different plants in here. This is mostly shaded, so I'm probably going to dig up and transplant some hostas to put in here, just to add a little more interest. And I'm thinking about maybe some type of grasses in there that don't mind shade. And I might leave some patches that I can put some annuals in for color, like some impatiens or begonias or something like that. So I'm still thinking about what I want to plant here, but it already looks so much better because it was just covered in weeds. So we needed to get this under control. So it's always fun to think about more plants. My coneflowers are also looking awesome. I mean, July is like coneflowers, the black-eyed Susans, everything's just looking so good right now. Got a monarch flying around here. Have a lot of milkweed in here, as I showed you in my last video. So I've seen a pretty big uptick in the monarch butterfly activity. Just in the last couple of days, I've seen a lot more, there he is, flying around and hopefully laying eggs. Monarchs really appreciate coneflowers. They will eat the nectar from coneflowers, so highly recommend. And the other fun thing about coneflowers is if you let them go to seed and leave them up in the fall when they're done flowering, the goldfinches love eating coneflower seeds. So I highly recommend just leaving them. And they look pretty in the winter too because they have a really interesting seed head. And it just kind of looks cool standing up. You know, with snow on them or around them. I also have some coreopsis. It's like some little, I don't know what bugs these are. Maybe tiny bees. The liatris is starting to bloom. This is another awesome Midwestern native plant. It's a prairie plant. So this whole thing will bloom and just be a big pink spike, which looks really cool. And butterflies and other pollinators really like those too. I have some Shasta daisies back there. My hydrangea is looking a little rough because we have some roof repairs we have to do. So unfortunately we kind of had to get the ladder back there and smush our hydrangea shrub. But that's okay because that thing comes back and looks amazing every spring. So I'm not too worried about that. Let me take you over to the front. I have these two pollinator beds by our vegetable garden, which I'm hoping the sun is, we have tomatoes. They're all green and they're just sitting there. So I'm hoping the sun will start ripening up our vegetables. I think I showed the yarrow in the last video. This is the giant hyssop. So this is what I'm talking about. I mean, this is over 5 feet tall. This is taller than I am. And then I have some zinnias blooming. Another pollinator favorite. I just pop these in here for some more summer color. And these will just keep blooming until frost. Same thing. This bed is just a mirror of the other bed. So I have some zinnia. And then I'm going to show you this little flower patch I have at the front by the road. I have my little wildlife habitat sign, but I planted a ton of sunflowers up here, which are really close to blooming. I also planted a bunch of zinnia. I have a couple of Lowe's clearance plants up here because I can't help myself. I have more of that Agastache Heather Queen. So this one's actually blooming. It's pretty interesting. And then I found this really interesting, what's it called? Coleus, I think. And it's completely different than any other coleus I've ever seen. I believe it's called flamingo feather or pink flamingo. I'm looking to see if I have a tag around here. I thought I saved a tag, but I guess I didn't. I mean, this is just, it's really, really interesting. I saw it and I was like, I have to have that. And I've seen bees on it, so, and I have not seen bees on any other type of coleus really. So something about this one that can really, I don't know if you can see, this one's bloomed out. They can actually really get in there to the pollen or nectar or whatever they're getting. So really interesting. So I think that's where I'm gonna leave off for today. I think I'm going to do a vegetable garden tour in a separate video because I don't want this video to be too long. So I think that's where we will leave off. So hopefully this video inspired you to get out, get into your own garden, get some clearance plants and plant them in your yard. If you have any questions about anything you saw, feel free to pop a comment down below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.